Ladies and gentlemen, let's engage with a difficult yet crucial question. Why is she ignoring me? This question, seemingly simple, a source of profound confusion and pain for many young men today. And that's not surprising. Because attention, particularly the attention of someone you care about, deeply intertwined with your sense of value and identity. But let me begin by telling you something that might sting a little. If she's ignoring you, it's not just about her. It's about you. That's not a condemnation. It's a call to growth. If she's ignoring you, it's not the world betraying you. It's the world reflecting you. Before you judge her silence, the volume of your own character. The greatest tragedy is not rejection. It's being blind to the lessons hidden within it. Most men want attention before they've built a life that deserves to be seen. If she stopped responding, maybe she sensed something in you even you won't confront. A culture addicted to blaming others because accountability is heavier than anger. You don't fix a problem by resenting its messenger. You fix it by becoming someone who no longer generates it. The harsh truth is this: people don't abandon those who radiate purpose, strength, and clarity. They distance themselves from instability, confusion, and inconsistency because those are threats to peace. You think she's the problem, but have you spent even 10 minutes asking, kind of man have I been? Have you been clear in your intentions or passive, aggressively hoping she'll decode your silence? Have you been a source of strength or just another emotional burden waiting to be managed? She isn't your therapist. She's not your mother. She's not a mirror to reflect your ideal self. A human being with finite energy, and if your presence drains more than it contributes, she will preserve herself. Don't confuse being ignored with being mistreated. It might just be self-defense. What kind of presence do you bring into a room? Do you uplift or do you extract? Wants you to believe she's just playing games. But perhaps she's simply done playing along with your immaturity. Doesn't begin with answers. It begins with the courage to ask terrifying questions. And one of those questions is, I want to be in a relationship with myself right now. You're not owed attention. You're not entitled to affection. You are responsible for becoming someone worthy of both. Entitlement is the enemy of evolution. It whispers, you deserve more, while blinding you to the truth that you are less than you could be. There is no strength in chasing someone who's walking away. Strength is found in standing still and rebuilding your integrity. A man in alignment with his values will never fear silence because he knows his presence speaks louder than his words. Ask yourself, are you the storm she's avoiding or the shelter she's seeking? Fake groundedness. You can't perform emotional maturity. These things are either built or broken. So if she's ignoring you, maybe she's tired of babysitting a boy who refuses to grow up. If every woman you meet ends up walking away, perhaps the pattern isn't about them. It's about you. Women don't want perfection. They do want honesty, consistency, and vision. You cannot provide emotional safety when you're living in denial of your own chaos. You want her to open up, but are you emotionally safe to open up to? You demand vulnerability from her while hiding your own behind distraction, humor, or apathy. If you're still blaming your ex, parents, or the universe, you're not ready for love. You're still stuck in war. You think you're being ghosted. She might just be retreating from your ghosts. You don't lose people by being imperfect. You lose them by being unwilling to transform. Growth begins the moment you stop trying to control others and start controlling your own behavior. Loyalty, but have you earned trust? You want attention, but are you worth remembering? You want to be chosen, but have you chosen discipline? You want her devotion, but have you mastered your direction? People sense energy. If yours is needy, bitter, or fractured, no amount of charm can hide it for long. Sometimes, mercy. It gives you space to face what she couldn't say out loud. Because the truth is, most people don't confront you when you're slipping. They simply leave. The world does not scream its feedback, it whispers. And if you're not listening, it disappears. When someone pulls away, don't panic. pause. Stillness reveals everything movement tries to hide. Built when everything goes well. It's revealed when things fall apart. So if she's ignoring you, don't chase her. Chase the man you were meant to become. Don't try to win her back. Try to win back your soul. Pain is not your enemy. Avoiding pain is. Self-reflection feels like death because it's the death of the false self. Only through that death can the real man be born. And that man doesn't beg for attention. He commands it by the way he lives. Her silence is a test. Will you react or will you evolve? Future relationships depend on your response to this one, not on whether she answers, but on how you answer yourself. You don't need her to speak to know what you must do. Because deep down, you already know. And now it's time to become the man who listens. Female attention is not a compliment. It's a signal. It means you've passed a test most men don't even know they're taking. It isn't just about attraction. It's about perceived competence, stability, and truth. When a woman pays attention, it's rarely random. It's earned consciously or subconsciously. Women are biologically wired to detect threat and potential, often in the same breath. You think it's just romance, but she's subconsciously asking, can I trust this man with my mind, my heart, maybe even my future? She isn't judging your shoes. She's reading your posture, your tone, your conviction. She's looking for congruence, not charm. Words say one thing and your energy says another. She feels it instantly and she withdraws. She's filtering chaos because her nervous system is evolutionarily attuned to danger in male instability. Every woman you meet is a walking radar of emotional and psychological patterns. Always know why she lost interest, but her biology does. She retreats when your mission is unclear, because if you're lost, she won't follow. You can't fake purpose. Rehearse masculinity. She'll know the difference. A man without internal order invites external collapse, and she won't volunteer to be collateral damage. See yourself as a threat, but emotional chaos always is. Masculine strength isn't domination, it's direction. She isn't drawn to control, she's drawn to clarity. Confusion creates her anxiety. Your lack of leadership triggers her survival instinct. When a man is rooted in nothing, she feels like she must become everything, and that's exhausting. She doesn't want to carry your potential. She wants to see you carry it. You cannot expect devotion if you radiate hesitation. She needs to know you see something beyond her, because that's where your leadership comes from. If your life revolves around seeking her approval, she's already lost interest. She wants to join your path, not become your purpose. When you lack a mission, you make her your mission, and that reverses polarity. And when polarity collapses, so does desire. A woman doesn't leave because you're too intense. She leaves because you're too aimless. She leaves when your spirit is limp, not when your body is strong. Muscles without meaning are decoration, direction. You might look like a man, but if your words tremble, she will hear the boy inside. You don't convince her with compliments. You do it with consistency. Follow a man who follows something higher than himself. You want her to open up, but are you even worth revealing herself to? If you don't lead yourself with discipline, why should she trust you with her vulnerability? A woman watches how you respond to pressure, because that's what she'll live with when life gets hard. Care how you perform at your best? She's watching how you act when you're wounded. Can you carry pain without projecting it? Can you stay grounded when things fall apart? If not, she'll see it and her biology will tell her unsafe. Female attention isn't fragile, it's forensic. She will unconsciously notice the micro lies, the subtle insecurity, the cracks in your frame. She doesn't need you to be perfect, but she needs you to be real. Your neediness screams louder than your words ever could. Every time you seek validation, when you abandon self-respect, when you lack purpose, attention becomes your drug, and she won't become your dealer. She wants to be inspired, not absorbed. You're not being ignored. You're being filtered out by standards you didn't know existed. Her silence isn't cruelty. It's her nervous system protecting her future. A woman doesn't want to raise you. She wants to rise with you. She doesn't want to teach you how to be a man. She wants to feel your manhood through your groundedness. If you're constantly reacting to her emotions, you're not leading, you're orbiting. She doesn't want you to fight for her approval. She wants you to fight for your future. When a man fights for something bigger than himself, she trusts him without needing proof. You want her to feel safe, but do you even feel safe in your own presence? Calm amidst chaos. If she senses you are the chaos, she'll recoil. When your world falls apart, she watches. Will you collapse or build? Decision determines whether you are forgotten or remembered. You think silence means indifference. It might mean disappointment. It might mean you didn't show up as the man she hoped you'd be. Mean her intuition spoke before her mouth did. A woman senses things logic can't explain, especially when it comes to your lack of vision. The moment she stops believing in your potential, attraction dies quietly. You can't argue her back into interest. You have to evolve until silence becomes admiration. You want her to need you, but what she really wants is to respect you, earned by your relationship with truth. If you lie to yourself, she can't trust anything you say to her. She's not impressed by your resume. She's attuned to your reality. Reality always leaks through. You don't need to be the richest man in the room, but you damn well better be the most disciplined. You don't need to be fearless, but you must not be ruled by fear. You don't need to know everything, but you must be committed to learning what matters. Direction is more attractive than your destination. She doesn't want you to have it all together. She wants to see you moving toward wholeness. She wants to know when the wind blows, or do you build something that lasts? Do you panic in silence, or do you use silence to sharpen your vision? If she's ignoring you, she might be watching to see if you collapse or rise. Her attention is not a birthright. It's a reflection of your embodiment, punishing you with absence. She's responding to your presence. And if your presence is fractured, scattered, or hollow, then her silence is not rejection. It's instinct. Female attention is a privilege, one that mirrors the quality of your inner world. And until you make peace with that truth, you will confuse rejection with injustice. But when you embrace it, chasing attention, and start becoming a man who commands it, if she's ignoring you, it's not the end of a connection. It's the beginning of a confrontation with yourself. This silence you feel, this distance, this aching confusion, it's not about her punishing you. It's about life inviting you to become the man you were meant to be. Not the man who begs for attention, but the man who commands it through integrity. Not the man who blames the feminine for withdrawing, but the man who understands why it no longer feels safe to stay. Her absence is not an attack, it's a mirror. It reflects your instability, your lack of purpose, your hidden fears, your fractured masculinity. And instead of resenting that mirror, moral obligation to look into it and change what you see. Because the world doesn't need more men chasing women. It needs more men chasing truth. Greatest fear is being ignored. But your real fear is that you might be unworthy of being heard. And that's not a curse, that's a calling. A calling to rebuild your frame, a calling to speak with honesty, a calling to walk with strength, a calling to lead with clarity. When you respond to silence by rising, not retreating, by rebuilding, blaming, then you become dangerous in the best possible way. And when that man shows up, he won't need to beg for attention. He'll live in such a way that attention naturally follows. He has earned it, not through manipulation, but through transformation. So let her silence break you, because what breaks is what was false, and what remains is real. That man, worthy of being heard. And when he speaks, the world, including her, listens.